Nous avons essayé d'effacer le charme, l'esprit et les jeux de mots de Faraz Maqsood Hamidi. Nous avons échoué. Ce que vous allez voir est le meilleur que nous ayons pu faire.
Hello guys and welcome to Blender. This is Fahad Bombaywala. Welcome to another episode of Blender. Today we have the amazing Faraz Maqsood Hamidi with us. So Faraz के बारे में मैं आपको बताऊं, Faraz is a very seasoned creative. He is the co-founder and chief creative officer of the Hamidi partnership. इसके अलावा Faraz is a poet also. Faraz is an actor also. Design में I think हमें इनसे अच्छा कोई और दूसरा इंसान अभी तक मिला नहीं है. And he's a fantastic copywriter. Faraz, इतने सारे काम आप एक साथ कैसे करते हैं? पहले ये बताइए. खाते क्या हैं आप?
First of all, after that introduction, even I want to know what I have to say. So thank you, thank you. That was amazing. Sorry, what was your?
You are amazing.
Oh, you're very kind, very kind. What was your first question?
My first question है, आप मुझे बताइए फराज, इतने सारे काम आप एक साथ कैसे कर लेते हैं? वो सारे काम आप बहुत perfection के साथ करते हैं.
I don't know about perfection. But, while we're growing up, we sort of all kind of know where we have to head.
Yeah.
And that's either banking, at least in our family, or it would have been engineering or medicine. Culturally, that's sort of the directions where we go. I didn't fit into any of them. So I had no idea where I needed to end up. But long story short, I think ultimately when I landed into advertising completely by chance.
Oh, really?
Completely by chance. I have no history of advertising, no family in advertising. It was just complete happenstance.
Oh, I thought all these, the Anwar Maqsood Saab and everybody, I thought that you got inspiration from there because...
No, none.
You also worked for advertising, like, copywriting and all.
No.
Anwar Saab has wrote...
Oh, yeah, maybe. I think Anwar Saab was also in banking with my father. Yeah, but that lasted only 2.5 hours. Yeah, that only lasted 2.5 hours. But everyone ends up being where they need to be.
Do you know the full story?
Sorry?
Do you know the full story?
Of him in banking?
2.5 hours.
I think the story goes that they both applied together. And then on one occasion, Anwar Maqsood was sitting behind my father, Arif Maqsood, I think they were at UBL. And then he sort of feigned the voice of Al Hassan Abadi and called up my father. And he goes, Arif, I just need to tell you that right now you have to go for lunch. So Abu was like, Al Hassan, yes, of course, because Anwar Saab needed to get the hell out of the bank. I mean, so that's pretty much what was going on. So yeah, so those are the stories that we have of his days in banking.
So is he your chacha or your taya?
Well, he's many things. Because I think what ends up happening is that when you have a generation of cousins who have intermarried, you end up with people like me. So he is first cousin to both my parents, and he's also married to my puppy. So that makes him my puppa. Right.
Wow.
Right. So it's, 3 relations.
That's
that's 3 relations.
Cool. So Faraz, creative culture in our country, a lot of people strongly feel that it's deteriorating. From sophisticated work, we are moving, I think deliberately moving towards mediocre work. Or maybe visually baat kar raha hu, because since you're aapka design, of course. Faysal Bank ka logo. We'll start off with that.
All right.
Okay. Faysal Bank ka logo, when I first saw that beautiful ligature that you created between the L and the B. What happened here?
Yes.
And I thought somebody else did that.
Really?
So,
yeah,
the
bank happened.
Yeah, the bank.
The bank happened there. What's the interesting story about the first logo is that it was the world's most conservative but most optimistic brief. So they came up to me and they said, listen, aapke paas ijazat hai kuch bhi karne ke liye, bas kuch badlega mat. So I'm like, wait a minute, what does that mean? So I literally followed that brief. It is a evolution of their previous logo, the one that sort of came before this. And all that we did is that we dropped the B and made it look like part of the L. So that's how that ligature came through. And the other thing that we did is what they call the serpents, hamare saap, inside the symbol.
आस्तीन के सांप थे वो.
आस्तीन के सांप जो आपको नजर आ रहे. So that's something that we spent some time developing. And these snakes, so to speak, were all over their signages and everything else. I thought it looked like Matisse. And I think they look pretty at the time that we made them. But it was incremental. It was a minor evolution. But I think even in that minor evolution, you were able to create something magical. So the point is that you don't have to reinvent or overhaul, the entire system to be able to create some sort of magical interaction. So that's what happened there. Then they came back 3 or 4 or however many years it's been since they went into the Islamic migration. So the achievement in the Islamic migration for Faysal is that it's the world's fastest conversion from conventional to Islamic.
Really?
I mean, super fast. I think there were 400 branches that we just sort of did, and there were lots of people involved. It was pretty intense.
And I think this is the only bank that converted entirely into words. Yeah,
entirely,
not like a window only.
Yeah. And the game plan for these guys was that we want to be a more progressive Islamic bank. I find the irony in this term because Islam is progressive, but I find the irony that we want to be a progressive because I think the idea was to fight regressive forces, so to speak. But so you'll notice that nothing much has been done. We went from blue to green, which is a lovely green.
Yeah.
And I remember standing with the chairman at the Faysal Bank house on Khayaban Muslim. Nobody lives there, but it's just a house overlooking the graveyard. But the house I'm talking about, right? So right in front of all those cemetery stones and epitaphs, we had this. The positioning could have been better of our exercise, and I think it was 10% more green or 15% less green. They really spent time, getting it right. So I love that. I love that. But the thing which you're speaking about is that why did the magic get dropped?
Yeah,
and ultimately, there's a time when agencies pump blood, when you're young and you're rebellious and you're ruthless. And then there comes a time when agencies pump ink because you got a bunch of people to pay and you have to manage the tax man. So ultimately, I'm not somebody who could have walked out and said, no, I won't be doing this or anything ridiculous like that. You listen to your client. You could tell your client 3 times, but then you draw the line. If the client is insistent that, hey, this is what I want because I don't think my audience will understand the L and the B, even though the L and B was in the market for God knows how many years, almost a decade.
Yeah.
So there's no point talking about these. They become petty and you could quickly descend into chaos. So whatever we've done, it looks great. There was a comprehensive identity made, a full brand manual, and we put them on their way. And I think it was they won a lot of accolades on this. So yeah, I'm psyched. It worked out.
But Faraz, again, the question remains, do you feel that communication or design becomes more palatable when it looks uglier? Or like a...
मैं आपकी बात समझ गया, but let me give you an example of a client that we worked with where this kind of thinking was really in my face and I had to fight that. And this was for our design for Khushhali Bank. Originally developed as Microfinance Bank by General Musharraf, President Musharraf.
Yeah.
General Musharraf. What do I say? Musharraf.
I mean, technically he was both.
Right.
President and the...
Right. So he developed Microfinance Bank. So we developed the entire ID. The whole thing about that was that you had 2 really vast and disparate audiences, right? So on one end, you had the Asian Development Bank and you had the likes of Hillary Clinton who'd be giving all kinds and all manner of donation to countries like Pakistan. So that was one audience, right? The donors.
Wow.
So we got that to be represented by the bluebird that you'll see in the logotype. So it's one big bluebird that's sort of harboring and carrying a small green bird. And the green bird is grassroots, Pakistan, helping people in need, especially women who need these microloans and so on and so forth. So the same identity had to appeal to those who couldn't read, who had limited exposure, who lived in our kinds of towns and villages, and who didn't even have access to media. I mean, forget social media. This predates all of that.
Right.
All they had was maybe a painted wall with white. उसे हम क्या कहते हैं, chalk का
wall
paint,
chalking.
yeah,
बिल्कुल.
you know. So it was in that sort of range. So everyone said, make it ugly so that the common man, right, understands it. That offends me, because the learning from Khushhali Bank was that those who live on the margins of society do not have marginalized minds. People respond viscerally
Thank
in
you so
exactly the same way
Thank you.
around the world on the same visual dynamic that you're going to present to them. And the job of a graphic designer is to be able to orchestrate and create the architecture of the perception you want delivered.
Yeah.
It's really quite simple.
Yeah.
So this kind of colonized stupidity is something that's a bit of a plague, and it needs to be set aside.
और स्पेशली इस्लामिक बैंक्स में
Yeah.
ये हमने देखा है कि all the Islamic windows
जी.
of all these banks, they deliberately made them look uglier because they thought that people will trust it easily, quicker, faster. Because, when they see something very perfect, very, beautiful and, sophisticated, they get intimidated.
Yes, I've heard that too.
मैं तो हमेशा तो हमें यही बताया गया है.
But tell me one individual who is against beauty.
I mean, that's the thing.
No one is. So I don't think it's a question of I mean, the term you're using is it palatable? I think where we've ended up is sort of more polarizing, because you have the tools to create something sublime, especially today with AI assisted softwares and technology. So you can create something sublime and generic, but you have people who do gorgeous stuff. And then on the other end, you have a lot of kachra, right?
Yeah.
Right. And then you and I are both now media companies, right? We are our own broadcaster. We are our own publisher. We are our own groupie and selfie taker. We're independent media companies. So we're putting out junk like nobody's business as well. Yeah. And it's not particularly designed or orchestrated visually, right? It's just sort of stuff that's being put in the garbage can of the universe.
Yeah.
The problem we're facing is that entire section in the middle where thoughtful, well-crafted, well-conceived communication needs to appear more often and done, sort of spectacularly well by those that confess or profess to be part of this industry. We, at the very minimum, should be the curators of that world. And if we're not, then we'll probably be part of the either camp. Generally, we'll be in the garbage can.
Of course.
Of
course.
Right.
Thank you so much, Faraz. Thank you so much for...
I don't know if that made sense, but...
Yeah, no.
Right.
Made perfect sense. Faraz, why do you call it Damidi and not D Hamidi?
Good point. देखिए, यहाँ पर आके तो D Hamidi बन गया है. Right. This was completely by chance. The story, and I've said this before, so and you may have heard it. I was sort of discovering myself as a young poet when I was studying in Paris, and I just sort of, I was a crap writer, but I just loved the idea of writing crap in Paris, right? So you'd have your entire postcard look and feel. And you'd be doing the things, you'd be going around town. You'd be invited to something that we call salons, which is not a hair salon. It's sort of it's sort of like a gathering of young writers who would read stuff out to each other, and it was always hosted by some Parisian lady of much age and influence, No, nothing like that. But that was the atmosphere. So I was in one sort of salon, and there was this guy sitting next to me, and he goes, "Your name is too long," French guy. So I'm like, "One, the hell are you?" And he goes, "What do you mean? What do you mean it's too long?" And I realized that it sounded too long to him because French is an unstressed language. They put the same emphasis on every syllable. So the way that he was reading my name was Faraz Maqsood Hamidi, right? It's equal, which is why French sounds gorgeous, right? Take any word, responsive, right? So you and I would say responsive, stress on the second syllable.
Yeah.
They would say responsive.
Yeah.
So it's all very equal. So he thought it was too long. So I said, well, listen, what do you want me to do? It's my name. He goes, no, my name is Dupont. His last name was P-O-N-T.
Okay.
Right?
Mhm.
So Dupont of Pont.
Okay.
Right? Or of the family of.
Yeah.
So I said, well, what do you want me to do? He goes, Damidi of Hamidi. He thought Hamidi was,
Okay.
well, in his mind, he thought Hamidi was more of a sort of a, you know,
Yeah.
established surname.
Prestigious name.
Yeah. But I love the sound of it. I love the sound of, and H is obviously is silent.
Damidi.
So when he said Damidi, I'm like, oh God, this sounds so good. So I sort of used to sign off my poems as Damidi. And then that just sort of became
lovely
whatever it is right now. And of course, partnership, because I was in a partnership. So it became the Damidi partnership. So yeah, that's the story. It just means of Hamidi.
That's fantastic.
Right. Yeah.
Faraz, how was it partnering with Adil? We've heard that you had a great relationship beyond partnership, of course. So, और ये advertising के अंदर, it's rare to see,
partnership till death. Yeah, it's rare to see anywhere. Because
I
think
1.5 साल में खत्म हो गई थी.
It's absolutely rare, and I think I'm exceptionally privileged to have experienced that code of honor. Exceptionally privileged. We had the best sort of dynamic, and also because I think his sort of worldview was all business.
Yeah.
He sort of lived putting out little fires. And my worldview was obviously what I've always been doing, which was a little bit more internal. So I think these two polar opposites, these men who ordinarily would never even say hello to each other at a party, because temperamentally we were, north and south in many ways. So I think for that to happen says a lot about how when there is a common purpose, then a lot can happen. You can change the world if there is a common purpose.
Fantastic.
But of course, the trick about partnership is that you got to feed your partner before you feed yourself. That is the only way it will survive. The moment any level of self-entitlement comes in, it ends. And self-entitlement is very easy to be, to fall into. Fall into, yeah.
यहाँ पे लेते हैं एक छोटा सा ब्रेक से वापस आके फराज के आखिरी आर्टिकल की कहानी सुनेंगे, जो उन्होंने 27 साल तक कंटिन्यू किया. कहीं मत जाइएगा. Faraz, how sad, man. Aurora died. Faraz, आप हंस रहे. Faraz, you are the longest contributing writer to Aurora. You wrote for almost 30 years above the line.
Yeah.
इस पे तो आपको मेरे ख्याल है गिनीज बुक ऑफ वर्ल्ड रिकॉर्ड भी मिलने वाला है शायद.
Yeah, a few people have said that.
मिल जाना चाहिए. It's rare in advertising.
Yeah, but I won't. I find it tacky. Probably won't do anything like that. But it's there, and I think what matters are the readers and those that have followed you for, an entire generation, literally.
Yeah.
And I've sort of seen the good, the bad, and the ugly. I've been sitting in the front row of that and seeing it, and so much has happened. You don't realize how much has happened in these last 3 decades.
Yeah.
And it's fascinating. I mean, you're reminding me right now. So the movie in the mind is running, and I just don't know where exactly to sort of anchor my ship, because every single port is an entirely different world. I'm amazed at the amount of time that 27 years. It's not a joke, right?
No, man, it's not. It's not. I mean, हम एक काम को यहाँ पे 1 साल से ज्यादा नहीं कर पाते. एक इदारे ने 30 साल एक मैगजीन चलाया.
Yeah, that's phenomenal. And so well done.
Yes.
So well done. And we're not advertising age or ad age. We're sitting in a small market.
ये पाकिस्तान में आपने कहा.
Right. ये आपने यहाँ पर करा. And small economies end up sort of giving you smaller lives. Right?
It's true.
So for a group of individuals to come out and to be able to curate the agency world in such a professional way, I think it's hats off to especially Mariam Beg, who's a former ad girl from M&J days in the 1970s. So that sort of that zest of the 70s when everything was cooler, things were more liberal, you know, for someone to sort of have that passion and try to bring it editorial after editorial was amazing. And the fact that she gave me such incredible real estate. You know, the back page of Aurora is phenomenal real estate. And then the permission to write anything you want. So initially I did, and then I asked her, listen, at least can you tell me what the theme might be for your next issue, because I need to at least bridge it in some way. So that's sort of how we did it. She gave me the sort of banner, and then I just sort of filled up with whatever I was feeling at the moment.
That's amazing. फराज, आपने हर तरह का गवर्नमेंट सेटअप देख लिया है.
Yes.
From dictatorship to, you know, to democracy to, you know, like a hybrid system.
Imagine us saying that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
मतलब मैं कहता हूँ कि like मेरी जितनी उम्र है उतना आपका जाहिर सी बात है आपका तजुर्बा है. क्या देख रहे हैं? Are we going somewhere? Are we moving in some direction? Forget right and wrong or wrong. Are we moving somewhere or यहाँ पीछे की तरफ जा रहे हैं? क्या चल क्या रहा है? ये हम नहीं समझ.
You know, I mean, I'm obviously I'm not sitting at a place where I would have the visibility to answer your question with as much analysis and honesty as possible. I am one of the I don't want to say victims. I'm one of the subjects of whatever happens, right? Whether that's professional, whether that's personal, I think we need to be positive. I've often sort of communicated to those that are near and dear to me, especially those in the creative world, that you always need to think like a aristocrat, but come across as a democrat. The idea of creative direction really is creative dictatorship. You need to be solidly positioned with your armor and uniform in place to be able to get something that makes sense out into the world. Because if you don't, then the gallery will pollute whatever level of, you know, merit you want to put out there. It will pollute it. That's the nature of the gallery.
यहाँ पे हम लेते हैं एक छोटा सा ब्रेक से वापस आएंगे और फराज से पूछेंगे, मछली तो तैरती है, चिड़िया उड़ती है, बट क्या मारखोर भी उड़ता है या नहीं? कहीं मत जाइएगा. वेलकम बैक एवरीवन. आइए फराज से पूछते हैं कि चिड़िया भी उड़ती है, कौवा भी उड़ता है, बट मारखोर कैसे उड़ता है? फराज, मुझे बताएं, we were amazed, absolutely flabbergasted when we saw this beautiful Markhor. What went wrong? हुआ क्या था?
Oh,
politics हुई है?
Yeah, it got politicized.
थोड़ा मैं स्टोरी बताएं, because I think आपने
it's a great story. It's a great story. This was the PML government, by the way, the current government that had commissioned. Yeah.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, they commissioned the airline, and I loved. This was Musharraf Sian Sahab, who was the MD at the time, and I think he was from up north or something. I'm forgetting. The interesting thing was that right up till 2003, PIA flew the brand.
Okay.
On the tail, it said PIA, and the branding was done by a agency called Negus and Negus, based out of London, and the individual who designed it was I think involved with PIA from the 60s and the 70s and so on and so forth. It's a very glamorous story. And PIA was the most visible lettermark in the skies, because that's what it looked like on the tail.
Okay.
And then in 2003, everything went patriotic. They put the flag at the back of the tail, right? There was no flag at the back of the tail. So it's interesting that airlines around the world fly the brand. Like in Australia, it's not Air Australia, it's Qantas. It's not Air Germany, it's Lufthansa. right?
Okay.
Singapore's flag is red, but Singapore Air is blue and gold. They're flying the brand.
Yeah,
So why are you piggybacking on patriotism? It doesn't make sense. It's a shortcut. So what I loved about the new management was like, why can't we have something that brings the brand back? I'm like, yeah, like what? And they love the idea of our national animal, which is the Markhor. You know, and we gave many renditions of it, which is what you're seeing, right? And when I did the first one, I knew that a lot of people would say, "Ki aapne to Qatar ki bakri utha li," because Qatar mein bhi ek bakri lagi hui hai, you know, or whatever that thing is called. So I'm like, well, you know, maybe we need to sort of internationalize the look and feel of our mountain goat.
Yeah.
So it looks one part Pegasus, one part unicorn, one part Burak.
Yeah.
Do you see? It looks almost horse-like in the way that we sort of tweaked it. And of course, you have these horns, which are majestic and gorgeous, going up all the way to the green. We used a new color, which was blue. We came up with a new arabesque font. But there are some things in design that are holy. And the PIA written in Urdu, that's never going to change for the life of this airline.
That was done by some Chinese calligrapher.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
This was done by a Chinese calligrapher with bamboo at Negus and Negus. Yeah. So some things in design are absolutely holy. So we didn't mess with that. But I was very happy with this. The airline, I mean, this livery flew for about 6 months.
Okay.
It flew for 6 months, but it got politicized. And the management kept telling me, it also got leaked ahead of its time. And the management kept telling me that, you know, the union. And in my sort of dumbass mind, I'm like, the union might be sort of like these nice Japanese type guys with a tie, you know, and they'll come in and they'll say, well, we the labor would like to say. And then, you know, they, at that time, the VP of commercial said, well, let me show you the union for us, you know? And then when I met these guys, they were thugs. They were thugs. And it was so intimidating. I'm like, how do you can't reason. You can't reason with this.
Kaha kya unhone aapse? Like,
well, they said that if a change is coming, then it meant that there would be a change, a untoward change for their interests. I think that's what
like a right sizing kind of.
I think right, because that's what they imagined, that if something is going to look like this, and everything for this brand was done. But the other thing that sort of struck me as being interesting was, and we haven't been paid for this, but we haven't. And but the media, this is how powerful the media is. They're like, you know, and the branding agency got 3 billion rupees. Oh. You know, so I just remember looking at my team saying, well, I wish that were true. I wish that were true. Not a penny.
Ye to kisi ko, Faraz, don't tell this to anybody. Let them keep thinking that you got 3 billion.
Well, everybody knows. I know, seriously, no. But these things don't cost that much. The plane costs less. But what they were doing is that it was one party trying to sort of derail another party.
Which party was this?
The opposition was trying to derail the sitting government at the time.
You can say names, by the way.
Yeah. All right, I will. So your PML guys were in power at the time.
Yeah.
Right. So this was their commission. So it was, weirdly enough, it was the PTI guys who were trying to derail this. And you would have imagined that the PTI was the more design-friendly party, right? You would have imagined that. Because ultimately they did the Expo.
That's what we all thought.
Yeah. But they did the Expo as well. So,
yeah.
You know.
They had Shahzad Nawaz.
Yes.
I didn't know कि ये आपने किया.
Yeah.
Faraz.
Yeah. I've done a lot.
Many people know.
Yeah. We did Shaheen. And what was interesting about this story is that once this color went to AXA Nobel to develop the paint, they're like, we don't exactly have this shade. So in their color library, this particular gold is called Shaheen Gold.
Yeah. Wow, Faraz.
Yeah. So that was good with these guys.
So they created this special color for you.
Yeah.
Like special
for Shaheen
or whatever.
Yes. Yeah.
Lovely.
And the other thing we learned, if you go back to the plane, is that if the name graphic is written above the windows, it costs 25% less. But if it's written on the window, there's more labor when you're going around the window. Yeah. So a lot of airlines would have have you write their name above.
Amazing.
Yeah, you learn all kinds of things in this.
Yeah, I mean, there is a science to it.
Yeah.
Paint has its own weight.
Yes,
of course.
yes, yeah. And there's, of course, there's Shaheen written inside the eagle. So we fixed all of that. So this again was an evolution. Happy with this.
चले जी, यहाँ लेते हैं एक छोटा सा ब्रेक से वापस आके हम फराज से सवाल करेंगे कि इन पे जो आज तक सबसे बड़ा इल्जाम लगाया गया है वो क्या है, और इनसे इनका जवाब पूछेंगे. कहीं मत जाइएगा. वेलकम बैक एवरीवन. आइए फराज से पूछते हैं कि फराज, आपके जो हेटर्स हैं दे से दैट आप कोई खास इतने क्रिएटिव नहीं है, आप सिर्फ अंग्रेजी बहुत अच्छी बोल लेते हैं जिसकी वजह से क्लाइंट्स पागल हो जाते हैं. आप जाते हैं और प्रेजेंटेशन देने, फूफा आप करते हैं, ये उनके अल्फाज हैं, ठीक है, कि आप बोर्ड रूम में जाते हैं और मैजिशियन की तरह बाहर निकलते हैं और सब चीजें अप्रूव हो जाती हैं. पहले आप मुझे बताइए कि आप क्या कहेंगे उन लोगों से जो इस तरह की बात करते हैं.
Well, first you have to give me that guy's name and number. No, I'm just kidding. It's got absolutely nothing to do with the language you choose to speak in, but it's got everything to do with your thinking. Because you might be able to fool someone once, you can't fool them twice, right?
Yeah.
If going by their thinking, and then whoever is saying that, it surprises me that they're even in advertising, because advertising is a revisionist industry. It is layer after layer, trial after trial, meeting after meeting of going in and getting stuff out. It's not waving a magic wand and saying, here it is, you love me. It doesn't work like that. So it almost sounds like, somebody's writing a script of the typical ad agency day, and the guy just sort of writes a line and it comes from the clouds and the client accepts it and says, wow, kya angrezi hai. It doesn't work like that. It's a bit amateur. Okay. It's a bit amateur.
But Faraz, there's a very unpopular opinion, and people will hate me for saying this, that English in itself is it's a much broader and far profound language than Urdu. Do you agree with this or
no? I disagree.
Okay.
Yeah, I disagree. And I don't know why I disagree, because I'm thinking right now.
Yeah. नहीं फराज, आप देखिए ना.
No, because I don't want to think that there is something colonial in that observation of yours.
No.
That English is somehow superior or
absolutely not.
Yeah.
My point is that taglines and thoughts and thinking and ideas, they sound much better in English. That has nothing to do with colonialism. As an example, open happiness. क्या कमाल लाइन है. आप सुनते हैं और आपका दिमाग खुलना शुरू हो जाता है और आपके दिमाग में आइडियाज आने शुरू हो जाते हैं, विजुअल्स आने शुरू हो जाते हैं. आप उसको उर्दू में करते हैं तो जाते हैं खुले खुशियां.
Right, it falls flat a little bit. Yeah,
ठीक है.
Sure.
आप just do it, क्या कमाल लाइन है. मतलब कोई मुझे कहे और मैं पाकिस्तान में बैठ के मेरे दिमाग में मैं एकदम से ट्रिगर हो जाऊं, मैं उठ के भागना शुरू कर दूं, मैं अपना लाइफस्टाइल चेंज कर लूं, मैं बिल्कुल. आप उसको उर्दू में क्या कहेंगे?
I think we should ask your audience to write the translation of Just Do It in Urdu in the comments. I'd love to learn myself. I don't know what Just Do It would be.
That's a great idea.
Let's just try
आप लोगों ने नीचे जाके कमेंट में लिखना है कि Just Do It का उर्दू तर्जुमा क्या होगा.
We'll pick the best one and then we'll send it to Nike. What do you think?
Fantastic.
Done? All right.
Done.
Okay.
Fantastic.
Done.
So, but आप छोड़ दें colonialism वाली चीज को.
All right, done.
वो नहीं है. I think that's the excuse that we pick up when we want to sort of hide our incapability or whatever.
Listen, I'm illiterate in Urdu.
That's fine.
But that's also because I wasn't instructed in that language. I didn't grow up in Pakistan. My education was entirely British and American, so that exposure didn't come. But because of my family's background, fortunately, at least when I'm speaking in Urdu, it doesn't sound like this guy's totally illiterate.
Okay.
Even though I was very psyched when I did the Khushhali Bank slogan. We had prosperity on all accounts.
Yeah.
For in English, and then wohi cheez Khushhali har hal mein we translated or transcreated. We didn't translate, transcreated for the Urdu version. So I think the question is about transcreation, not a literal translation. I think that's where we fall short. Yeah.
Faraz, you are one of the most expensive voice artists in the country. Do you agree with that? And yes, you are. I mean,
no, correction. Ziamuddin Sahab was the most expensive voice artist in the country, followed by Imran Aslam Sahab.
Oh,
yeah. Then I think you could stick me in there. Then me.
But currently,
because they're no longer around. Yeah, well, by default. But I think we should honor.
So, what do you do differently, Faraz? Why do people agree or happily pay you extra for? Like, what do you do differently?
Well, it's not about the voice.
It is about the
No.
And of course, I mean, there is something extra to it. We all know that.
It's not. You see, there are lots of voices in the world. I mean, the world is only voices, right? So you can't possibly say, "Oh, does he have a special voice?" No, I think a lot of it has to do with performance.
Yeah.
What you're getting paid for is to, one, make the client look good, right? Because you're anonymous, you don't matter. It's just something coming out. You need to make the client look good, make the client sound good.
Yeah.
And it needs to sound like you believe in what they are saying. So there is that element of performance in there. And then, as somebody who was trained in theater, there's content, of course, but there's also subtext. There's also pauses and whispers and delivery, and there's all that goes into creating the right feeling in delivering. So it comes back to thinking.
Beautiful. Yeah. How was your time at RADA?
It was great. The girls are better because more apply. I remember when I was sitting with one of these voice coaches, and he sort of asked me, Faraz, do you want to become an actor, or do you want to become a star? So I'm like, oh, I want to become a star. Who the wants to become an actor? So he's like, well, may I just let you know, he sort of dissuaded me, because at that time, this is late 80s, there wasn't even the token black person on Western screens. Forget the token brown person. Wow. Right now, you're getting the token brown guy. Yeah. So you get it. It just, my dad was so relieved, he was super happy. And then, of course, I sort of had to go into all these other schools, just start, trying to find my tribe, which I ultimately did when I landed in Boston. And I was in something called AdLab at BU. And there was this girl with curly hair, all black boots, black glasses. And says, guys, if you like writing a diary, maybe you're a copywriter. So this bell goes off in my head. I'm like, oh, whatever that meant. I'm a copywriter. I thought I'd copy other people's stuff. So I'm like, oh, maybe I'm a copywriter. And then her sort of wildly outrageous partner, the art was this art girl, long black hair, boots, jackets, pens, I mean, there were caricatures of the industry. So she goes, and guys, if you enjoy doodling, maybe you're an art director. And this bell goes off in my mind. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm an art director. So after class, I went up to both of them and said, listen, I can do both. They're like, no, you can't. I'm like, no, I can write a diary and I can doodle. They're like, no, you have to be one or the other. You can't be both. I'm like, I promise you I can be both. So they said, well, if you could be both, maybe you're a creative director. Because either your left brain or the right brain, right? So at that point, I heard the term for the very first time. I'm like, creative director? What does the word creative mean? You see, I was so late to the game. Because by that time, I had done statistics, I had done economics in London, I had done acting, I had done comparative literature in Paris, I had done international relations, just trying to find your tribe, not knowing where this boat needs to anchor.
That's amazing.
So when I heard the term creative director, I really liked it. And then I picked up a book by Rollo May called The Courage to Create, which changed my life. And I encourage everyone to read it. It's one part sort of psychology and one part just attitude. It's wonderful. So I learned a lot about myself in that. And yeah, I've been trying to become a creative director.
Fantastic. Faraz, Expo.
Yeah.
Expo 2020. What a fantastic show, man.
Yeah.
I was impressed कि पाकिस्तान में लोगों ने, यहाँ की गवर्नमेंट ने, यहाँ के इन लोगों ने इतना सोचा, गए, एक चीज बनाई, and
so this was PTI sponsor.
Oh,
PTI
yes,
wasn't.
of course.
You want me to speak about government, right? So there you go. So
Okay,
yeah, right.
okay,
So this was done by under
चलें
PTI.
आपके मेरे ख्याल से थोड़े उन्होंने आंसू पुज गए आपके, थोड़ा गम आपका कम तो हो गया
शायद, you
थोड़ा
know,
बहुत थोड़ा
नहीं और भी उन्होंने गम you know
मजीद भी दिया।
हाँ because they
नहीं गम तो उन्होंने बहुत लोगों को बहुत दिए।
no there was no gum for me. I had a fantastic relationship with both IK and Zulfi Bukhari. They were both individuals who promoted you know the level of creativity I wanted. So we also did destination branding for
Salaam Pakistan.
yeah for them. It was done under their commission.
Amazing.
Yeah, and then this was done under their commission. You know, we were so late. We were so late for submission on this, and it wasn't even going to happen. So this was a rejected. This was a rejected show.
Really?
And I mean, if it weren't for Shahid Abdullah Sahab, then who sort of collected 30 architects and I mean, anybody that he could get their hands on, you know. So literally the day before, we were at the Governor House, and all of them were around the table. And then, you know, Imran Khan came in at the time. I was the designated presenter, and I remember Sharmeen Obaid saying that, you know, why is everybody panicking? He's a professional presenter. Just let him do whatever. We had no idea what was good. We had nothing. And the night before, they were sitting at my office, Shahid Saab and Nurja Abdelgrami, the office, saying, "Listen, can you put together something?" I'm like, "Something? What do you mean?" You know, and then, you know, my ass is on the line, you know, because no one else will be saying anything.
By nothing, you meant no designs for
no,
the
nothing,
pavilion,
nothing,
no identity, no nothing.
I think we had this render.
Okay.
Yeah, but we had nothing else.
Okay.
So at the last minute, I started going through IK's inaugural speeches in Parliament. And then I came across this weird line where he said that, you know, our lakes are as beautiful as Austria's, or our mountains are as gorgeous as Switzerland's. We're a nation with, we're a country with 12 seasons, and so on and so forth. So I'm like, wait a minute. What? 12 seasons? That was new to me. And then a little bit more research later, I figured out that, wait a minute. Culturally, we consider every month as a season. Oh. You know that Indian song, Mora Jeevan, Savan, Pago. Savan is a season, Pago is a season. Yeah. You know, so that was a learning.
You're right.
And then if the rain falls left ways, then that's a seed. If the rain falls right, that's a season. So we have all these seasons.
Faraz, 12 महीनों के नाम हमने 12 seasons पे रखे हैं.
There you are.
That's amazing.
You see, so then when we opened up the line, which was 12 seasons, one reason, Pakistan. You see, we literally had. I think this entire presentation took less than 10 minutes at the governor's house. You know, 12 seasons, one reason, Pakistan. Then I took them through us converting every season as a metaphor. This was Razak Daud Saab, who was trying to make sure that the business community participated, which they did. We have an expo because our business community each gave two C's towards building this. The land was given to us by Emirates. The expo, the pavilion itself was set up, I think, by the Emirati government. We got a lot of help.
Okay.
And IK at the moment said, "Listen, I don't have the money to put up a tent. So this is, you know, pretty much rejected." But when he saw the presentation, how we had thought through it, he's like, "I'm putting in $5 million to our embassy in Abu Dhabi right away."
That's amazing.
That's why we got this. That's why we had this. And it won awards, and they did a fantastic job. And we, you know, all these 12 rooms or spaces that were inside the pavilion were therefore, you see what we did? We turned them into metaphors, right? So it wasn't climactic seasons. It was season of opportunity, season of enterprise, season of adventure for sports.
Amazing.
Season of harmony because of the religious tolerance that we have. You know, when I worked on this, I was stunned by how absolutely mind-blowingly beautiful Pakistan is. I was, beyond amazed. Because we're also living in our little bubble and cursing the place, right?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Stunning beauty. Mind-blowing.
Faraz, I mean, governments का ये काम होता है कि they create this narrative.
Yeah.
Faraz,
Ji.
A lot of agencies, a lot of people tried real hard get into the bed with the government to do a branding campaign. How did this happen, Salaam Pakistan?
It was produced, commissioned by the Imran Khan government, and the ribbon cutting was by the Shehbaz Sharif government.
That's amazing.
Isn't that phenomenal?
eclectic, multicultural,
Well, it's one country, no matter what your differences are.
Only in Pakistan.
Only in Pakistan. Yeah.
मेरे ख्याल है आप इसी को कह रहे थे सलाम पाकिस्तान.
Right,
लiterally.
Literally.
Beautiful.
Thank you. I think this is the world's only name graphic that you could read simultaneously in English and Urdu at the same time. Read it again now. Backwards, it says Salam in Urdu.
Oh. Faraz? Yaar.
Happy with that? happy with that? And if you read it the other way, it's in it's in English. Yeah. And at the top, the A is also the Pakistani flag.
Salaam Pakistan.
Yeah. Simultaneously.
Kamal hai.
You're reading two languages at the same time.
Wow. Kamal hai.
And then there was the issue with the word salam. And I'm like, listen, you know Jumbo Swahili for hello. And Disney took that for their Jumbo the elephant, I think, or the Jumbo jet. Ciao, bonjour, hola. These are all famous ways to say hello.
Yeah.
And yet not a single country in the Islamic bloc, at least, has bothered branding Salam. The idea behind Salaam Pakistan was that you would then say Salam Punjab or Salam Sindh. And then you could take that into verticals. We could do Salam advertising, Salam business, Salam cement.
Yeah.
The Salam thing was, and if you read the copy, Salam means hello, Salam means peace. Salam means greetings. Salam means welcome. And yet the Western media has turned Salam into something that just means terror. So I was super happy that, with PTI coming in, they were brave enough to make sure that we could campaign a thought like this. So, from history to heritage to every single thing, this is all there. It's ready for the taking. It's all there, but someone just has to make, by the way, these are all images of Pakistan. None of this is stock.
It's perfect. यहाँ पे हम लेते हैं एक छोटा सा ब्रेक से वापस आएंगे और फराज से पूछेंगे कि चाइनीज जो हमें इतना ज्यादा नजर आ रहे हैं हर जगह अपनी तरफ, ठीक है, इनका भी कंट्रीब्यूशन है उनको यहाँ पे लाने पे, वो क्या स्टोरी है, कहीं मत जाइएगा. हेलो एवरीवन, वेलकम बैक. फराज
जी,
जोंग के एड्स के अंदर एक बड़ी खासियत है कि जब भी वो खत्म होता है, ठीक है, तो मैं बाद में उसके पीछे रिपीट भी करता हूँ, जोंग 4G. एक दफा बोल के दिखा दें यार आप.
Zong 4G. ये ड्रीम. इसमें जरा सा आपको माइक में रेजोनेंस पैदा करनी पड़ेगी. Yeah, it's 90% of Zong's VOs are in Urdu, obviously. But there's a great story about Zong. So the original logo was, I think, agency after agency, management change after management change. It ended up becoming, a victim of.
You had no part in it? Yeah,
the original logo? No. None whatsoever.
Okay.
Yeah. No, that was death by Photoshop, right? Total death by Photoshop. So we needed to clean it up, which is what we did over here. And when, so the typography you'll notice is borrowed from the original logo.
Okay.
The USP that Zong had at the time, because it was Chinese, with that perception, it was a last entrant. It was bottom of the barrel. It was dirt cheap.
Yeah.
It didn't have a good image. But what it had was superior technology, which was 4G. And even Mobilink didn't have that at the time.
Ooh.
Yeah. So we knew that the first thing we needed to do for these guys was to match the image to the product. And that's what we did. And so the first thing we asked them to do was to have 4G written next to their name.
Oh.
And it was pronounced as Zong 4G. Zong 4G. And then you have a new dream.
Yeah.
Now, a new dream means jack all. It means nothing.
Oh.
And the reason why it exists is because the retail brand in China for China Mobile is called A&D. And A&D stands for a new dream.
Wow.
And guess what? The colors are for that retail brand? Lime and fuchsia.
Oh.
So you see, this is how brands work. So the thing is that had this rebrand flopped, the likelihood of them bringing in the China brand, A&D, into Pakistan would have been much simpler for us with a new dream written at the bottom. That was the thinking.
Amazing.
And then we sort of did the color test about the focus group was, do boys like pink? right? Because that's basically what people are seeing.
Yeah.
And the learning was that Gen Z doesn't give a rat's ass about pink or blue. What it gives a rat's ass about.
Also,
is the
rural
mood.
Pakistan, they don't care.
No, nobody cares. Nobody
They're
cares.
more
But they care about the mood that the colors create. So I think our sort of ancient thinking about this color belongs to boys, this color belongs to girls was heavily outdated, and the research proved it. So
it's a very urban stupidity.
it is no doubt about it. You know, and so so this was what it was, and then of course this is a visual logo, but we also attached a audio logo to Zong, and that is why the O is sort of, you know, cracked in the middle, because that's a mallet striking a gong.
Wow.
Yeah, because the gong, the one syllable sound of a gong is the sound of Zong.
Wow.
Nokia has 5 syllables, right? Nokia, Nokia, dun-dun-dun-dun, right? It's a Sony with that, or Intel inside.
Sun lo bachon.
Intel, right? So
this is master
no,
class.
so it works. It works in that capacity. Yeah. So, but with Zong, we was like, what do we do with one syllable? What kind of note is one sound? And it's like, a Chinese gong sounds like Zong. Zong is a mispronunciation as well. The correct pronunciation of the name is Zhong.
Zhong.
लेकिन यहाँ पर D Hamidi की तरह Zong ban gaya. So you can't do much about it.
Unilever conducted this entire research जिसमें उन्होंने कहा था कि हम क्या नौर को लॉन्च करते हैं नौरी के हैं या कनौर के हैं. They decided कि नहीं इसको कनौर कहेंगे.
You know, I think I could be wrong. I think the name is Candour because there was this fantastic ad in London when I was growing up, and the line was "Now you can know." Candour, now you can know, which was really nicely. I mean, I'm surprised I remember it. It was a nice way to sort of put that across.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
जैसे Q Mobile ने Noah launch किया था.
That's right.
Q Mobile Noir
बन गया.
I love it.
एक और भी तो था. Cardoor.
I think there was some Walski ice cream.
It's a mispronunciation.
Oh.
Yeah.
Cardoor.
Yeah. Cartador. Gold card.
Gold card. Yeah. Amazing. Amazing.
So this was Death by Photoshop. We rescued it. Audio logo, another secret embedded in the Zong thing, borrowing from the heritage from China, making sure that should something go wrong, then that. Again, for young people who are watching this who think that it must take 5 minutes to do this,
no,
it takes 5 months to get every pixel right. So
सारा मसला ही यही है फराज के
everyone's in a rush, right?
Everybody thinks that they can also do it.
Yes. Yeah.
और क्रिएटिविटी अच्छी क्रिएटिविटी की और अच्छे डिजाइन की सबसे बड़ी खासियत यही होती है कि you don't notice it.
Yeah. Design shouldn't draw attention to itself. But you see, the word creative is very misleading. Yeah. Because I think if we had a duller word to describe what we do, which is really strategy and finding solutions and solving problems, maybe it won't accelerate the way creativity does. But that's really what we're doing.
Yeah.
You know, I know a lot of young people who enter advertising thinking that this is going to be a party. And they're like, everyone's just thinking at their desks, what's going on? It's not very glamorous, right?
Faraz, Hum TV.
Yeah, Hum TV.
Hum TV.
Hum News.
Hum News, sorry.
Yes.
Yeah, not Hum TV.
Yeah, I love this story as well. So this was with the Red. This was, so we got a call from them, and I think they have an in-house team. They'd done about 100 logos in-house.
Yeah.
And then they called me, and I'm like, we just work with one of the 100. I mean, and I saw the Hum TV.
Yeah.
Unka jo masala tha aur,
pata
nahi bahut sare channels the. Anyway, so the brief was very simple. They said, hamari ek nalki hai, or nalka. Their logo in Urdu looked like a tap.
Yeah.
Like a faucet. Yeah. So there's hum bahut Urdu hai. And we're moving into an entirely new vertical. We don't even know if people think of us as drama bars, we're going into news. No, these were concerns and all valid. Okay, so we had a strategy for that in place. But what I love is how we wrote hum in Urdu in the middle of this, because I didn't want to lose that Urdu-ness of it. So we were able to do both things. By the way, if you turn it upside down, it says va. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So
post figure
you could do that. Come on. Yeah. So it's bilingual at the same time, not as elegantly as Salaam Pakistan. So it's the Urdu is sort of force fitted in the middle, but it's done very, very It's done very elegantly, and I'm super psyched about this.
No, and we love the town crier, the baja, and it's very like
that's
the
right.
news. And
we even did the Urdu typography for these guys. I think in their initial rollout. I love the way Arabic looks because I think it fits the modern grid.
Yeah,
unlike the Nasalekh, which is a different kind of glamour.
I think baseline. हमें चाहिए हम ये मान ले इस बात को कि नस्तालीक के ऊपर पूरी दुनिया नहीं चल सकती
बहुत मुश्किल
खुदारा ले आए बेसलाइन को
but I think we need a lot of people willing to experiment.
When you guys did this campaign Mobilink, I switched to Mobilink Indigo.
Indigo 0300 or something else?
No, the number was the same but I changed
all right. Number portability. Okay, got it.
और मैं इसके लिए आया था फराज Mobilink,
right?
One Mobilink, right? And then suddenly एक दिन मेरे पास ईमेल आती है कि आप हमारे जैज गोल्ड के मौजूद कस्टमर अब हैं यार मोबिलिंग से जैज मतलब क्या ये पाकिस्तानी को मजा आता है चीजों को डिस्ट्रॉय करने में या इनको
I'm so on the page with you. I don't think you see we were purple. We did a purple identity initially, and then when we migrated to red, this was a Wolf Allen's design that we helped.
This was interbrand
Wolf Allen's. That we helped co-create,
okay.
And it just occurred to me that the planner who did this sort of, I think he passed away like a couple of weeks back. Yeah, really? Weirdly enough, yeah. So it being red was Gen Z. This was a new generation that was coming on.
Yeah.
Mobilink had cachet. That name should never have ever been sort of sidelined. And Jazz was always a little on the lowbrow side. Jazz in and of itself is a fantastic name, but the culture around the name is a little lowbrow. It is.
True.
So to migrate from that to making it default Jazz, I don't know whether that makes sense. Maybe it makes sense in numbers because Jazz today is unbeatable. It's too big to fail.
Of course, man.
Yeah, and it's gone into so many verticals that all will be successful, and they'll be successful because when you have 72 million subscribers, you take a small case study, and based on that data, you could launch anything
man.
And it won't fail.
Yeah.
So the danger now is that you could hemorrhage. You'll hemorrhage too fast. You become this ecosystem of so many brands that actually have absolutely nothing in common. Even if you are a house of brands, there has to be a certain gravitas to all your brands. They must look like they belong at least to the same surname, if nothing else, right?
एक माँ के तो बच्चे लगे ना सारे.
Yeah, at the very least. You could be wonderfully unique. You can all have your unique names and your unique personalities. But there needs to be something that shows that your grooming is more or less the same as well. So this kind of sort of distortion that I'm sensing over there is an issue. And the amount of times Jazz's logo also has sort of taken turns in sort of becoming something else. It looks like every new agency wants to have its field day with the identity, and you're doing a disservice to the customer who's giving you their money and their trust. It was a pity that this was sidelined. It really was.
Yeah. But the campaign, the identity itself, like the entire vibe of this campaign was very
unique, right?
Very unique, very.
Yeah. It was the music was composed by Ali Zafar with the Philharmonic Orchestra in LA. So he had that done over there. Asadul Haq did the TV commercial. Beautiful.
Yes.
Our copy platform was Har Dil, Har Din. And then on the next slide, you could see how you could pretty much campaign this. This is the kind of campaign that could go on forever. There's no stopping it.
Faraz, ये आप आज relaunch कर
it'll still work.
आज भी work करेगी.
It'll still work. And then you could sort of see how Wolf Allen's was able to open up what we call the links. So the idea behind the links was that it could embrace anyone and anything. What a wonderful way to build community.
हर दिन करोड़ों लोगों का दिल धड़कता है हमारे साथ. Mobilink.
मेरे ख्याल है इसके ऊपर भी जो है ना हमें मोमबत्तियां और वो रख लेनी चाहिए.
Let's bring that back. Let's bring the agarbatti back. Yeah.
Chale, thank you so much, Faraz.
You're very welcome.
What a wonderful conversation. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
इतना time हमारे लिए निकाला आपने.
On a Sunday.
No,
you guys opened this place up for us on a Sunday, so thank you.
आपके लिए खोलिए, आपके लिए खोलिए. We all enjoyed the conversation of Faraz. I think Pakistan में ना परफेक्शन या आप कहने सोफिस्टिकेशन के साथ काम करने वाले, अच्छा काम करने वाले, वैसे ही बहुत कम लोग होते हैं और उनको भी जबरदस्ती किया जाता है कि आप भी बुरा काम करें.
People love beautiful things, you know, and anything that's intelligently presented will always, will be 300 times, there was research done on it, will be 300 times, not 300%, 300 times more effective. So you just need to make sophistication accessible for individuals. I mean, I know at P&G they call it class for mass, but I think you know what I'm saying. And those who sort of mandate mediocrity should be locked up because there's no value for that anymore.
True. I think हुस्न के कभी अपना एक स्टैंडर्ड होता है.
Right.
The biggest lie that was fed in our minds was, beauty lies in the eyes.
Very good point.
That's not true, man.
It's by design.
पहाड़ खूबसूरत होता है, वो आपको खूबसूरत लगता है because there is something in it.
There's a visceral geometry in place.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Faraz. बहुत शुक्रिया आपका for coming in. इतना टाइम आपने निकाला. आपका भी बहुत शुक्रिया हमें ज्वाइन करने का. इट वॉज अ वंडरफुल फैंटास्टिक कॉन्वर्जेशन विद फराज मकसूद हमीदी. इनको हम दोबारा बुलाएंगे और इनके साथ कुछ और टाइम स्पेंड करेंगे ताकि हम और ज़्यादा इंस्पायर हो सकें. खुदा हाफिज़.